Hello there. All right, this is bonus video day because this is my, well, yeah, I don't even know what I'm going to name the video yet, but yeah, I'm sure that you can see the name of the video, so whatever. This is my story, okay? Yes, I'm having this because it's going to be a while. At least I think, well, no, dude, it will be a while. Okay. Oh, let's explore. Sorry, it's a little warm and it's real bubbly. Okay. All right, I'm going to share my... Dude, by the way, look at this, my new Niners shirt. It's so big on me, though. I need to wash it. But look at this thing. I mean, it's a cool shirt, but it's just big. Okay, anyway, okay. I'm sorry. I need to save that random crap for my other video. Okay. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to share my story. Already wasted a minute of crap. Going to share my story of... It's kind of from the beginning of my addiction. It's kind of the person I was. And then it's, I'm going to get into kind of tapering and kind of, you know what I mean? How I did it, what I found successful. And this is, dude, this is straight up, well, it's all truth, dude. Every video I make is real. I know some people dislike them. Like, what the heck? Like, what? It's probably because of the God stuff, or I don't know. I guess not everyone has to like them, but this is just the truth for me, okay? Hopefully that this helps you guys. Hopefully this answers some questions or gives some, I don't know. It's always interesting to hear people's addiction stories anyway, so just hunker down, grab a cup of coffee. Well, it's summertime. Grab a sparkling water and hunker down. Okay, here we go. All right. So this is how I'm going to start this. Okay, my first taste of opium, okay, ever. I tore my ACL, had ACL surgery in high school, okay, tore it in football. During the Niners training camp, I was trying out for, no, sugar. And tore my ACL. That's when I had the taste of morphine. I literally had morphine going right into my veins in 4 different spots, okay? Just straight up, you could push this ball, squeeze it, and it went in. And at the end, when they had to take it out, I saved all this morphine, and we just squeezed it all in because you might as well not waste it. And that was when I was like on cloud 9, and I was like, holy crap, I love this stuff, okay? So that I just wanted to start that out there just to let you know, like, but I had an addictive personality at a young, in high school stuff. I smoked weed. I smoked weed every day. Every day I could. Every day. I was one of those guys right out of high school. I smoked weed every single day. Okay. And anyway, the first night, so anyway, years ago, me and my buddy were drinking, and another buddy of mine came by. He had 60 milligram morphine pills. And he's like, you want one? And I was so ignorant. I was like, they make morphine in pill form? Like, it's not just like injection. Like, well, hell yeah, I want a morphine pill. I mean, I knew I liked morphine. Okay, I knew I did. And this was, so I had surgery when I was a freshman in high school. So this was like, I was 19 at this point. Okay, so this is years later. And I'd take a couple Vicodin in high school if someone had them or something, or whatever. You go to the dentist, you get. I knew but like, dude, took that 60 milligram morphine pill. I was hooked right then and there, dude. I loved it. It was time release. I was feeling great for like 15 hours. I mean, it was like, I just loved it. It took a while before me to get like a steady supply though, and have it really go into hyperdrive. But dude, okay, so I got married. Okay, so then I'm trying to take as much as I can, but I'm not really like full on addicted just because of like finding people that had them kind of thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, I got married when I was 21. When I got married that night, I know for a fact, because I remember this, that my supply line was all set and all good then. Okay, when I got married at the age of 21, right before I got married, I think I remember I just popped in 4 of those 60 milligram morphines. I took a few perks, and I took 3 shots of whiskey, and because I was nervous. And yeah, it's a great excuse, right? Well, that's okay. That's why I did the whiskey thing. The pills, that was just, it wouldn't matter what I was doing. I was gonna take a bunch of those. And that was actually not very much compared to how it got. But I just remember that. And no one knew. You couldn't tell. I was really good at holding it. You know what I mean? Like, I could take a lot of stuff, dude. And before it took a lot for me to get gacked. You know gacked. You know what gacked is. We all know what gacked is. You're falling asleep, you know. A lot of guys, they have like cigarettes and they just like, dude, my dealer, like, you go to his house, well, when he was alive, you'd go to his house and he'd have like big burn marks in his carpet because he'd be gacked in like his cigarettes. I don't know how that place didn't burn down. And they're all over because they all get like that, but his was the biggest. Okay, anyway, all right, this is gonna be a long video, guys. Whatever, dude. Whatever, right? Okay, so I remember, anyway, and dude, I thought when I first got on pills, morphine was what I loved, oxy and perks, dude, I loved taking all that stuff together. It was so fabulous. I thought that it was just what I was missing in life. I remember thinking like, God, I should have got on this stuff earlier in high school. I mean, just stupid, foolish thinking, you guys. But I thought it was just the best thing ever. I mean, it was my God. It's what I cared about. I absolutely loved it. Had that honeymoon for like a year, and then things, you start to really, as time goes on, you start to realize things that it's not as good as it's all cracked up to be, or like as good as you thought it was going. You thought it was. Okay, there we go. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, so about roughly after a year of taking that stuff, you know, and I was ignorant, dude, you realize like, crap, this is physical dependence, okay? Well, so I stopped taking, I just like, was like, I got to get off this crap, and I stopped taking it, okay? And that was like, when I say a year, that's a year of going hard, okay? Well, I just stopped taking it. I went through freaking hell, obviously. Morphine withdrawal is very intense. It's very, very, very intense. And I was taking like oxy and perks too, but lots of morphine. And I went about 2 months, and the whole 2 months sucked. Like, I couldn't enjoy football. I remember it just sucked. It was really hard for me to do. And I relapsed at a 49er game. I happened to be with someone that had morphine, and I was just all achy. It's like, what do you want? You want one of these? I'm like, yeah. And then there you go. Anyway, so dude, that's terrible. So relapse at a Niner game, and then after that relapse at the Niner game, it just went big time. I mean, it was freaking, dude, I started taking lots of morphine, lots of methadone, lots of oxy perks. I started getting Dilaudid. I'd get anything I could, dude. You know, I remember lady had fentanyl patches, and that actually did, I remember kind of like, I don't know about that, like, and I didn't actually take a fentanyl patch, because I only had if I would have had them offered to me later in my usage days, I would absolutely, I was seeking fentanyl patches. Where I was, they were just hard to get. But anyway, so I just took any pill, dude. If it was a pill, dude, I wanted it. And then so I went on for like another year or so, and at the peak, due to that, I was spending $1,300 a month, and I was getting good deals, dude. I was getting 60 milligram morphines for $1, perks for $1 as well. Then she started getting the 100 milligram morphines, but I get the same amount as 60s because they upped her script, or their script, I guess. But so then I remember, I just like, well, I don't want to break these up. So, well, if in the morning, if I took 4 of those, I'll just take 4 of these 100s. And dude, I was getting freaking taking so much stuff right then. Okay, so $1,300 a month, and I was getting really good deals. And I was a person that I just would work more. Okay, I would work more hours. I could only work up to 6 days a week. I'd work 6 days a week. Okay, I wouldn't take a lunch if I didn't because I just thought like, man, if I just take more pills, I can just keep working. But yet I'm spending all my money. I mean, it's just stupid, foolish thinking. Okay, and something too, real quick, before I got there was a while there too, when I was 18 and 19ish too, I got really on fire for the Lord. I was reading my Bible all the time too, and the morphine thing. And I stopped smoking weed even, dude, for I just like was really, and then morphine kind of just slowly took over my life, and I got away from God and got into morphine and pills. Okay, just to kind of let you know that too, because I kind of turned, as this process goes on, it's turned me in, or I turned myself into a really not good guy. Okay, I was very popular, had a lot of friends, I was funny. You know what I mean? I just talked a lot, was really outgoing, And this process slowly, completely engulfed me and changed me for the worst. Okay, so anyway, that's kind of why I wanted to say. Okay, so yeah, dude, I was spending a crap load of money, dude, and so finally I found out about Suboxone. I got people in my family that are on Suboxone, and because I was spending so much money too, I was like, well, dude, I need to freaking get a doctor. I was like, oh great, now I can get, well, anyway, got on Suboxone, okay? And that was probably after another year or so. So this is my first Suboxone program. This is years ago. So I got on Suboxone, and I was taking so much stuff that they started me on 32 milligrams. I was in there all day, dude. I felt like freaking crap. I was in full-on withdrawal. I didn't take anything the day before. I was naive. I didn't know, like, how you needed to feel when you started taking it. Because I wasn't taking methadone then. I was purposely didn't take methadone before I went in there. Wait till I tell you about the second time I got on Suboxone, because all I was taking was methadone, and holy crap. Anyway, okay. But we'll get there. But anyway, I was in there all day because they were just like giving me a little bit at a time they wanted to see, and they just couldn't freaking believe it how freaking dope sick I was. So I ended up getting prescribed 32 milligrams of that. So I started on 32 milligrams, and in about 2 years, I weaned down all the way to about it was under a milligram. I know I got to under 1 milligram at a point. Okay, and then I'm like, dude, I'm gonna freaking get off this stuff so bad. But so I did research and stuff, and it was like, dude, you hear like Suboxone. So really, yeah, 2 years from going 32 to less than half, like you can do it actually pretty fast. Like it's really, I'll get into that more though. But I did research because I was like, okay, I'm gonna detox. It was in February. It was after the Super Bowl. In fact, it was the year the Niners went to the Super Bowl and lost, and then I wanted to kill myself. No, joking. But anyway, so that would have been like 2012. So anyway, so I switched. So I did research, and I got all scared about withdrawing from Suboxone, like people, all these horror stories and stuff. So I switched over to and I was like reading about methadone, so like not taking methadone. So I just switched over to fast acting, fast leaving, all that stuff, opiates. Okay. So I wanted it to be intense and quick. That was my thinking. That was my plan. So I was just taking like perks and morphine, and try to take as little as possible. And it was hard for me. I did okay though, I think, for me, I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I know it didn't get insane. I wasn't like getting just freaking ripped like crazy like I was. So anyway, but I couldn't tell you milligrams. Dude, I couldn't even tell you milligrams on when dude, there's so much stuff. Well, you'll see. I've been through quite a bit. So, but this ain't nothing, dude. This is like child's play to a lot of people's stories, dude. Straight up. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I need to find my spot here. Good thing I wrote stuff down, dude. This would be all over the place. So anyway, so yeah, I got down to less than a milligram. Switched over to fast acting stuff. Jumped off in February. That was my first 7 months. 7-month detox. I really prepared for it. I was smoking weed every single day, dude. Every day, dude. Every day. Right after, I would just like that. I would just be waiting. I would just smoke it up every single day for months and months and months and months and months, getting off that. That kind of got me through. But see, I wasn't doing the right things. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't reading my Bible even. I wasn't, I got into pornography. And then I kind of got bored with weed, actually, too. And imagine that, yeah. But kind of got bored with weed even. And it was just like, I hate being foggy all the time, whatever. So I found Adderall. So I started taking Adderall. Even though I wasn't taking opium, I started taking Adderall. And I got like quite a bit of it, actually. And anyway, and did that for a while. Anyway, 7 months go by. The fall comes around. The fall is where I would always fall. Actually, both times I went 7 months. Once fall, I jumped in February, relapsed in like early October or whatever. So after 7 months, I relapsed on methadone. I remember that. I remember I was going to a football game, not a professional football game, but I was going to my brother's football game, and I just like asked the guy I work with, dude. I was like, dude, can you give me a couple dones or a done? I think it was one done. Actually, it was one done. And I remember that, but I don't remember how it just got crazy, bad. I almost OD'd. I think I told you about that. Took a bunch of benzos, like 4 days, 5 days, 6 days later, I don't even know. And it was kind of dangerous. But anyway, so then I went hard again on methadone for about 1.5 years. And the reason why methadone was the main thing is just because that's what I could get at that point. Things had kind of changed, as time went on. As time's going on, pills were like freaking Skittles there for a while. I mean, it was like, maybe even more than Skittles. Or I don't even do it. It was just crazy for a while. I mean, you could get so much stuff. And so anyway, so got on methadone. I was on it for like about 1.5 years, and then I'm like, okay, I got to freaking, I relapsed. I had to tell my wife. I deceived her, though. I lied to her. I kept it from her for how long, and then I broke down and told her, like, dude, I've been taking pills for, I don't know how many months. And it freaking hurt, dude. Because, see, dude, here's the thing with me and my wife. Me and my wife are very, extremely open. We do not hold any secrets from each other at all. We don't hold stuff from each other. We're very, she puts on a dress and go, how do I look? And if I don't think it looks good, I say, I don't like it. I think it looks terrible. But if I love it, that's our relationship. We're best friends, dude. We're high school sweethearts. We're just very tight knit. We're close. So when I did that to her, when I deceived her and stuff, that hurt her bad. I could not imagine, if she did something like that to me. I was just a real ass. I'm sorry, just a jerk guy. And as this is going on too, time's going, dude. I have just a horrible outlook on humanity, dude. I hated people. I would argue because I believed that in God, okay. But I would argue with people or debate or whatever that God existed just to argue. It was not to help their life or to change their life. You know what I mean? I had so much pride. I thought I was smarter than everyone else. I thought everyone else, like the bulk of people were just so dumb. They're just like cattle living their lives, going to die, and it's all vanity. They think they're so cool because they have their, I was jealous too, probably. Whatever. I was just such a prideful jerk. And here I was being an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, but I just thought they're just cattle going to die. They have no idea of their eternal destination or whatever. Even though here I was knowing I was doing wrong. You get what I'm saying? I was just such a prideful jerk. I seriously thought the worst of humanity. I hated humans. I had very just dark thoughts. I was very dark in general. I've always liked metal too, like hard metal, like stuff from Europe too, like not some of this weak American metal. But really got into dark music. I still listen to hard stuff, but I listen to like positive stuff now. It's different, but I still I like progressive metal, dude. It's the best. So what's up? I like orchestral music though too, and symphonies and stuff. But anyway, okay. Doesn't matter. Okay. But I guess what I'm saying is like I hated humanity. I just thought I had no, it was just, I became dark. I became isolated, dude. That was another thing. I was isolating myself. That's what you do, dude. When you do this crap and stuff, I start isolating yourself, all that stuff, it's terrible stuff. Anyway, okay. So I was just taking a bunch of methadone and whatever. I could always get some little stuff on the side though too. But methadone was the bulk of what I took to keep me from getting dope sick. And then I could get some perks here and there and some oxys here and there too. But anyway, so about 1 year went by after I relapsed, told my wife and everything, jumped off of methadone, just straight, didn't taper or anything, just jumped off of methadone before I detox. I got all the stuff, got a bunch of weed and did some research and found out about kratom. Okay. And I got some kratom, took it, and it freaking helped a lot. I took 2 weeks off of work. I took a couple weeks off of work the first time I detoxed. I always took time off of work. Well, other than the time I did it for like 2 months. But, so anyway, so I, started taking kratom, and it helped a lot. And immediately I just started taking kratom every day. And then I just started taking a lot of kratom. I get a ton. I get all these different strands, I'd get, all these different strands, dude, like, keep it all diversified. And I always had some. I had it in my car, I had it in my drawer at work, I had it in my house. I just had bottles of kratom everywhere, because you had to take a lot, it wasn't just like a pills. I mean, I was like, I'd open up a bottle and just be like take the whole thing, you know, taking copious amounts of this stuff. And and at my peak there, I was spending like $600 to $700 a month on kratom. And and like I said, dude, and when I got on kratom too, I'm gonna say this right now, like when I was on kratom for like, for like 5 months straight and taking a bunch of it, it was, I remember getting more radical in some of my thinking, actually. I remember just isolation too, more isolation. But I really remember getting kind of radical in some of my thinking. In some of my, like, really freaking radical. I don't even want to get into it, but just, I wasn't a good guy. I was not a good guy. I thought I had the answers to everything. I thought I was smart, because I read, and now keep in mind, doing all this too, like, I would go in spurts where I'd read my Bible and really have intentions in my heart, but I'd always fall off, and, whenever I'd get closer to God, things would get better, or, but then as then it would get worse when you kind of go and say, but there's never consistency at all, okay? Just so you know that, okay? Never. So anyway, okay. So then I stopped taking kratom. So I was taking that so I stopped taking methadone, started taking kratom for like 5 months of that detox, okay? And yes, I still dealt with crap with the methadone withdrawal, but the kratom helped a ton, dude. It helped me get sleep. It helped so much, and I knew it did. And I knew that I was going to have to get off kratom, especially spending all that money. So I just got angry, and I just was like, this sucks. I'm just going to stop taking it. So I just stopped taking it right in the middle of a work week. Worked through it, whatever, but it sucked. It did suck, you guys. I wasn't sleeping. I had anxiety. I just didn't feel good. I really didn't feel good. You feel kind of dope sick, actually. It's not full-on, like, opiate withdrawal, but it's not fun, and it's not just a piece of cake, especially if you're working and stuff. I'm just telling you that. And then you have cravings. You crave things, too, and guess what? So I lasted 2 months after kratom, and I was taking, dude, this is when I start, around that time, that's when I started taking a lot of benzos, because I was having so much anxiety. I mean, I was taking, and I had dabbled with taking, I've told you, I was taking benzos with opiates too, but like I started taking a lot of freaking benzos. I was getting Xan bars, Klonopin, Ativan, whatever, dude, whatever I could find, anything, any benzo, didn't matter. So I lasted 2 months, then I relapsed on methadone. On impulse, actually. I got them for someone else, had some in my hand. I think I told you guys that, and I just threw them in just on impulse. I was very impulsive. With so many things, fleshly, okay? In general. Just a very impulsive, I would just an idiot, okay? Anyway, okay. A lot of addicts are like that too, impulsive and just and we're kind of dumb, right? we want to feel good. That's the thing. Yeah, I was so selfish, dude. That's literally all it was. Always about me. It was always about myself. It was how I wanted to feel, all the time and effort into chasing pills, dude. All the money spent, all the extra time working to earn that money to buy those pills. You'd get a gift, Christmas, that someone give you a freaking Visa gift card or something. I was talking to a guy today about it, and it's like, I'd be like, damn it, I can't buy pills with this, like, I'm going to have to go buy myself something? Like, what? No, I just wanted to buy pills with all the money I had. So very impulsive, and I started taking, I was taking a lot of benzos, taking a lot of Adderall too, Adderall when I could, so when I relapsed this second time, after the second 7 months here, I'm sorry if this isn't very good too, by the way. I have no idea how it's going, I really don't. This is one take, just like everything else. First take, one take, okay? But I told my wife a little sooner than later in my previous relapses, but still deceived her for a couple months or whatever. And so she lost trust in me, dude, straight up. And I don't blame her at all. And like, I tried to stop taking methadone, dude. And I told her, like, I'm just going to stop taking it because I didn't get in too deep, and I was like, I'm just going to stop taking it now. And so I did. And I actually do remember kind of like taking kratom a little bit too after that to kind of help a little bit. I knew it could kind of help, but I didn't want to get into that too much either. So you know what I mean? But then, so she thought I was off methadone, and like, you know, and I kind of was, but then I just couldn't do it. I was freaking powerless, you guys. I just couldn't do it. And so I got on methadone again. She was pregnant. Oh yeah, she was pregnant when I told her I relapsed. Great thing, right? Cool guy I am. And I just remembered that, yeah. She was pregnant when I told her I relapsed again. And then when she had the baby, when she had our daughter in the hospital, dude, I had methadone and Adderall in my backpack that I brought to the hospital. And she didn't know that she didn't know that I was taking methadone. In fact, we had to talk about this because I kind of forgot some of these details. But I had methadone and Adderall in my backpack, so I was taking methadone and Adderall when my kid was born, dude. And I had benzos in there, of course. I mean, come on now. I mean, why wouldn't I have those? And I just really do. I was such a lying, deceiving, manipulative, bad guy. I mean, seriously, I just was not a good dude. And my wife, you know, as pissed off as she got and deserved to get pissed, she never threatened to leave me one time. I'm so blessed. I have such a great wife. All this crap I did, all the money, all the stuff, dude, all the waste, all of that stuff, okay? She never once threatened to leave me. Never one time, okay? I mean, that is a blessing, folks. Like, I don't know where you find that. I don't know. You know, that's God. Dude, I'm blessed, okay? Because, dude, like, when you're taking a bunch of pills, too, your sex life, I'm sorry, I don't mean that, but, like, it wasn't good. It wasn't good for a marriage. We weren't doing that enough. It wasn't, you know what I mean? In fact, how she got pregnant is because, like, I stopped taking kratom and stuff, and you know what I mean? Stopped taking methadone, and then, like, got a sex drive back, and then she got pregnant, and hopefully she's going to get pregnant again. I'm really trying to have a kid, but, we are. But, anyway, so very soon after my daughter was born, like, very soon, we got right on getting on Suboxone again, okay? Now, this is the second Suboxone stint now. And again, they gave me 32 milligrams, and which I couldn't believe, dude. That's too much, dude. You don't need 32 freaking milligrams of Suboxone. That's the highest they can prescribe you, and it's too much. It's too freaking much. No one needs that much. I'm sorry. Well, maybe the first time I went in there, actually. I guess because, dude, it was not helping. Anyway. Oh, yeah. So I got on Suboxone the second time while I was taking methadone. Well, methadone freaking takes a long time to get out of your system, dude. And I waited and knew that, okay? Well, I finally started getting, like, some symptoms, so I took my Suboxone, because this was different. They just, like, prescribed me stuff. They just asked me a bunch of questions. I'd already been on stuff. They asked me what I was taking, you know, and they prescribed me, you know, 4 8-milligram strips a day. Well, I go home and I take the Suboxone. I got put right into acute withdrawals because the methadone wasn't out of my system. So I went through hell, like, freaking that hell, terrible withdrawal. It lasted, I don't know, for all day and probably maybe 2 days. I don't even remember for sure. It was hell. It was absolute freaking hell, okay? So be smart. Like, if you're going from methadone to Suboxone, dude, be very, very careful. Make sure you are really withdrawing from methadone before you hop on the Suboxone, okay? All right. So anyway, so I'm on the Suboxone program, okay? And the program is a taper program, okay? And they were originally thinking, we're going to get you down to like 2 milligrams or lower, and then you can be on it for the rest of your life. And that's what initially they're thinking with all my history and stuff, okay? Well, then I got in a car wreck and started having seizures 2 days later. Was in intensive care for probably 5 days, and then they moved me to another area or whatever. I don't know, something like that. Was having seizures in the hospital, dude. I remember like I fell asleep or whatever I thought, and I woke up and there was like all these doctors and nurses in the hospital room, and my wife was gone, and then she came in, she was crying, and I don't know what the heck's going on. They had to put a breathing tube down my throat. I mean, it was very scary. Anyway, okay. So I guess the reason I'm telling you guys this stuff is because this got in the way. This is why it took 4 years. Because it shouldn't have taken 4 years. It should not take 4 years, okay, in my opinion. Okay, that's my opinion. But this is why, because these things happened to me. Then I couldn't work for at least 6 months, I know. During this time, they wouldn't release me. I couldn't, because I was having seizures, just all this stuff. It was, I couldn't be with my kid by myself. I mean, there's so many things. Okay, couldn't drive yet. My license got taken away because I was at risk of, getting into another wreck and having seizures, or just having a seizure behind the wheel or whatever. So then I got really sick, whatever. I wasn't working, so I was just in bed, sick. Well, my leg hurt. I had a blood clot in my leg. Okay, well, by the next day, so I go to the hospital, whatever, okay, got a blood clot, da-da-da-da-da. By the next day, it hurt to breathe. And this was probably within a month after out of being in the hospital with seizures. Seriously, like within a month. Well, I had a blood clot in my lung. Pulmonary embolism, something like that. I don't know. I don't know the technical term. I forget. Anyway, blood clot in my lung. Every breath hurt, okay? It sucked. It was absolutely freaking terrible. And so I was in intensive care again. And didn't realize how close I was to death. During that time, I was just so depressed. Oh, dude, the seizure medicine was just terrible. I hated being on Suboxone. I just hated where I was in life. I was angry. That was the worst time of my whole life, okay? So this is kind of delaying the taper thing. My doctor was like, hey, well, you're going, you know what I mean? Like, so I had to get on blood clotting medicine and all that crap, whatever. It sucked. And so my taper didn't go great for a while. And I had a few more seizures and audio hallucinations. And I ended up at OHSU for a week. Finally got cleared to work, okay? And wasn't long before, I was working, got really sick, was puking. I'm sorry if this is going on. I don't mean, I'm trying to, show you guys something. And then I'm puking a bunch. I don't know what's going on. I'm puking for like a week, dude. And I go in, my stomach's hurting, and my appendix is about ready to burst. So they got to get me on, so then I had to take out my appendix. But they had to pump me full of a bunch of plasma, but make sure that they could fill me, because I was on blood thinners. They had to make sure that they could give me enough plasma before my appendix burst, because if they gave me surgery, I could bleed out. I mean, it was just this freaking terrible thing, dude. And so anyway, so then I had surgery. I had to get my appendix taken out. And so then after all that, though, then I really started my taper. I mean, I had probably done a little bit, and really got down to like 12 to 8 milligrams fast, like from 32 milligrams. Like, it's really not that bad. I mean, yes, there's some things you deal with, but it's not that bad. Like when you're really, doing it. And then I like kind of catch my breath, and then I got down to 4. Okay, got down to 4 pretty quick. Then I had a hernia, had to have hernia surgery, and it was a bad hernia in a bad spot. And so anyway, yeah, it was just bad, like, because you can have, anyway, so I'm just saying, I'm sorry, this is, like, too much of my medical freaking history, but I'm just trying to show you guys, like, there was so much crap, dude. Everyone in my life was like, what in the heck is going on with you? Like, it's just one thing after another, after another, after another, after another. So the taper process got kind of messed up, dude, especially the hernia surgery, because that was, like, they didn't know if I could have kids again. I mean, seriously, but they fixed everything. They got it all good, but... Well, I guess I haven't had a kid yet again, but no, it's fine. Anyway, okay. But anyway, so then that delayed things, okay? Okay. Well, anyway, around this time, even before my hernia, I started to read my Bible all the time. I started to study military history, modern military stuff, dude. I started really getting into psychology and philosophy and theology, like classes and stuff, like taking online stuff. And lectures and stuff, like, really got hardcore into that, especially like when I was laid up with this and that, and started really getting into debates of atheists versus Christianity, and I wanted to test everything, dude. In fact, I got to a point in my life where it's like, okay, I was raised this way, and I believe, but it's like, I want to really dig deep and argue against it and see if it can really hold its own, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So I really searched, got into other religions too. I just wanted to study them. I just wanted to, honestly see the crackpot and ridiculousness in other religions. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't care, though. You know me, I don't care. I mean, it's pretty apparent if you actually dig. Okay, but anyway, Okay, so now this is a big deal. I know I haven't talked about tape boxes. I'll get there, I promise. Okay, because this is just part of it. Okay, I got a new Bible during this time. I'm gonna read my whole Bible. So I read my Bible all, blah, 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 I was reading all the time, and then I was like, I want to get another Bible. I want to get a better word for word. So I got a word for word translation Bible. I remember bringing it home that night, and I read the Gospel of John in just like straight up one setting, okay? And I absolutely fell in love with Jesus, okay? Absolutely fell in love with Jesus Christ. I saw how tough he was, how loving, how gentle, how humble, how truthful he was, and believed. It was like on another, it really was like he's the son of God. He's God. And he died for me. All of my dirt, all of my crap, like that was my sin was up on the cross. Like, I mean, it was like, he was tough, he was controversial, but he was truthful and a good, I mean, he was perfect. And I absolutely fell in love with him. Okay, that's a big deal, because that was really a change. Things were really changing deep inside me. Even though I had an intellectual belief, my heart loving people started to click. Because I was always like, I just wanted to save my own skin. I just wanted to like punch my ticket to heaven so I could get to heaven. You know what I mean? Like, that was my thinking, and like didn't care. I just, even like when I'd have moments of like, oh, I'm reading my Bible and conscience. This is years ago. I'd be like, oh gosh, I just wish I'd die today so I could go to heaven. I remember pleading with God, dude, when I was really depressed off of like my first detox. I remember pleading to God and just being like, God, just kill me right now. And please, I don't deserve to go to heaven, and I don't want to go to hell. Can you just make it like I never existed? And then I told him I didn't. I was like, I got pissed, actually. I remember being like, free will my ass, like, I never asked you if you didn't ask me if I wanted to even exist, or you know what I mean? That's how depressed I was. I didn't even want to. I was mad at him for creating me. Seriously, like that. I'm just that kind of that thinker too. I was telling my wife, dude, I was like, I remember one time in my life, I was like, is it even ethical to have kids because you have a kid just so they will die inevitably? Well, it's like, that's ridiculous. But that was just my thinking. I've always been that kind of a thinker, okay? Or just, I don't know. Anyway, that doesn't freaking matter. Again, I'm sorry. But loving people started to click, okay? I realized that I have work to do now, yeah, and I'm not just saving my own skin, okay? But anyway, so like once I got down to once you get down to like 4 milligrams of Suboxone, at least for me, like that's when things got real. I would take here's the thing, I would take less than I was prescribed for a while, okay? I'd take less than I was prescribed for a while, and I'd do like good, but then I had like this stuff stockpiled, and then I would just like take all that though. I'd screw up and like, you get what I'm saying? So then it would like void everything I was doing. Or you get what I'm saying? So I take the extra Suboxone. It was just so stupid. I was so weak, dude. I was just weak, and I would take all the stuff I had stockpiled, and and then I'd do really good. Yeah, I'd do really good for a while. Then I'd get, then I'd even, get extra to get a buzz. I'd go get extra and to get a buzz, or like and not all the timeline here is all perfect too, just so you know. It's just pretty good, but not every little or I'd take the extra that I had stockpiled. Or it would always be, the taper was always kind of like then I'd get right back into doing it, and I'd feel just not feel great, dude, because I'd go hard, I'd jump hard, and I wouldn't feel very good, and I'd feel like I was just trapped, dude, and I feel like crap, and I'd get scared and emotional, and like I remember like when I'd jump, I'd do a taper, and like it'd remind me of like what I had to go through. I'd cry, dude. I even cry to my wife and just tell her like, dude, I want off Suboxone so bad, but like I just felt so weak, and I was terrified, dude. I was freaking terrified of getting off of it. So scared, knew how bad it was gonna be and whatever, and but anyway, I just kind of kept chipping away at it. And here's the thing, I kind of tapered in a unique way, okay? People always asking me, well, is it every other day? How'd you do? It's like, sometimes I do the kind of every other day, like I take 1 milligram this day, 1.5, 1.5, or whatever, but really, not really. Sometimes not at all. Like most of the times I would just jump down and make myself deal with it. Because dude, here's the deal. There's no easy way to do this. Okay, it takes a lot of willpower, takes a lot of you got to be dedicated, and you're gonna feel things. You are going to feel some things, okay? And the longer you taper, you're either gonna draw out minor crappy feelings longer and longer, and then eventually, even when you taper to a very low dose, you're gonna suddenly stop, or you're gonna stop, and then you have to deal with that. Like, even it's not gonna be very intense, but it's still gonna be a process. Okay, there's no easy way. I don't mean, it's just you gotta do it. You gotta pay it. Okay, I've said that before, but it's just the absolute truth. Okay, but I was really struggling at 1 milligram for a while, and got down to 3/4 of a milligram, but then I'd take a milligram again, and I was kind of going back and forth, like, just, I was really struggling there, and I kind of got to a point where I was really just struggling right there between a milligram and 0.75, and when I'd read my Bible, and I'm saying this because this is how this all happened, okay? I'd read my Bible, and throughout this whole time when I'd read and stuff too, but I'd get this burning desire of, like, getting off Suboxone. But during this time, around the 1 milligram air time, I would read my Bible, and I just had this overwhelming burning desire to get off Suboxone. And it was like I was stuck in a spiritual rut until I could get off. And that was my experience. But I felt like I just couldn't do God's will in my life 100% until I got off Suboxone, okay? Even though I hadn't been using pills for years at this point on my Suboxone program, I just was like, I just knew in my Bible, like, God is like, I have plans for you. You got it. I knew in my heart the whole time, like, I'm eventually getting off this stuff. I have to do it, But that was just my experience when I'd read my Bible, when I read the Word of God, dude. It gave me that burning desire to get off of it, because I just wanted to give God everything. And I knew detox was coming, and I was so freaking scared, dude. It consumed my every thought. I wasn't sleeping good, because I was just so scared. And I knew what to expect. I had been through this wasn't my first rodeo, and but I finally, one night, because this is the truth, dude. One night I was reading my Bible, and I was praying, and after I read, and I was praying to God and about the detox and everything, but there's just something that just, like, wasn't getting through. Just like I you know what I mean? Like, and I'm praying, I just remember, like, I didn't know what came. It was just crazy. Like, something wasn't getting through. Like, and looking back, it was because I wasn't giving up everything, okay? And I finally, you guys, I fell on the ground. I was by myself in the playroom, my kids' toy playroom. Anyway, that's where I'd always read and pray by myself, and I just fell on the ground and just cried out, Father, Father. And it was like I was saying, Dad. Like, it was like, because I didn't even know how to pray. I didn't know. I knew I wasn't giving up something, but I didn't even know, or you know what I mean? Like, and I just said, I just want to do it your way. I mean, I just completely surrendered to God in that moment. And everything changed in a snap of a finger. Because here's the deal, like, I knew I was getting off Suboxone, but I still had, because I was so scared that I was still like, well, like, I'm not buying Kratom, but I was like, dude, but like, my first day back to work, like, if I got to get some and take a little bit, because I was like, I don't know, I was like, I don't want to lose my job, whatever. But then I just had the mindset, like, I don't even care if I lose my job. Like, everything changed that night. I wasn't afraid. I knew I wasn't going to take Kratom. I knew that I was only going to use, like, some, concentrated THC oil and CBD oil. Well, CBD oil, you can use that anytime. But, like, I knew I was going to use that oil just for, like, God really did put on my heart, like, yeah, you can. I used some during the acute withdrawal stage, like, during the major stuff for a few nights, just at night. And then, like, one night I was going to use some, and I just felt like I couldn't, and that's when I just stopped. I completely stopped. Old Gabe would have just kept, you know what I mean? Not saying I'm just saying that's what God put on my heart. This is my story. This is what, I'm just telling you the truth, okay, in my life. I'm not saying if you do any of that, you're bad, you're going to hell, you're, God, it's between you and God, okay? And, anyway, okay. But But it was really, yeah, when I surrendered, that all the fear went away. It was when I said I'm going to do it God's way, not Gabe's way. Like 100% too. Not anymore, okay? I put my taper in hyperdrive, and I knew, yeah, like seriously, like, so I put it into hyperdrive. I wasn't afraid, and I knew that I had to make these videos. I was terrified to make my first video, and I just knew like God just was telling me like he wanted me to do it, and so that's why I started doing that. But I got down to a 0.5 milligram for a while, and I wanted to kind of I wanted to hover at a 0.5 milligram for a while, like, you know, and so I did that for a little bit, and then I started even taking less in like the last week, you know, before the detox. I don't even know. I really don't even know what I was taking. I was taking just like these little tiny amounts, like maybe 0.40, 0.30, 0.25 some days. Because like even before I stopped taking Suboxone, the night before I stopped taking Suboxone, I started having diarrhea and stuff. So I mean, it was coming, you know what I mean? But I did that on purpose. You know, day one of Suboxone withdrawal, I worked. I did that on purpose because of the long half-life with Suboxone, just to get that one extra day. You know what I mean? Which you folks that have been following and watched my videos, my early videos, you guys know that. But there's a lot of newcomers, and they ask me a lot of questions and stuff. I don't know how informative that video even was, but that's my story in a nutshell. It's not everything. You guys, you know, whatever. I hope it gives you an idea. I hope it was, you know, whatever, entertaining somewhat, or you just enjoyed it, I guess. I don't even know. I don't think I have anything else written down. Yeah. But, you know, I guess the whole thing here with this is I don't have just a great, easy answer for you guys, other than I gave it to God. I truly gave it to God in my heart and in my soul, and stopped being an angry person, and truly surrendered myself to him, and that's when everything changed. And then, dude, whenever I do good at my taper, and then I'd kind of like, and then all of a sudden I'd take all my stockpile or whatever, it'd be like, good on my taper, I'm reading my Bible, and then I'd start slacking. I mean, it's like whenever I got close to God, I did better, and then when I got further away from God, I would do worse. That was the whole taper was like that. To a T. Okay, the proof is in the pudding. Okay. It is. And, you know, and when I fully surrendered to God, that's when everything changed. But there, you know, as far as my taper, I wasn't very scientific about it. I just I knew that I had to go through crap. So it was just like, whatever. Okay. Anyway, this is long as heck. Hope that gave some information, dude. Ask me any freaking questions you want to ask me. I'll answer any questions. I know I left crap out, dude. Well, of course I did. This would have been, I could have gone on forever. And I'm still going to make another video. So give the update on the day. So anyway, God bless all y'all. That's my opiate story right there, okay? God bless and salute.